I'm still in the new Art of Simplified Cooking. This is episode number 4 of the Lost Cookbooks Show. And today I'm going to be making Southern corn sticks in a corn stick pan from the same era that this cookbook came out. This cookbook's not copyright 1940. These corn stick pans, according to Google, they started producing these in 1939 throughout the 1940s, and they were used during World War II when metal kitchen supplies were low. It's manufactured by Indiana Glass Company for Little Crow Foods, measures roughly 12 inches long by 6 1/4 inches wide, and it bakes 6 individual corn cob shaped cornbread sticks. It says you want to grease it well before using because it will stick to glass. Some bakers like to preheat the glass pans for a crispier crust, but handle hot glass carefully to avoid thermal shock. Now this recipe for 2 eggs, 2 cups of sour milk. That's going to be buttermilk. 3 tablespoons of melted shortening. I'm going to use bacon grease. 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 1/2 cups of cornmeal. Now this is cornmeal, not cornbread mix. You just want plain cornmeal. 3/4 cup of flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're just going to combine everything together and pour into buttered molds and bake. You can butter these, you can grease these or whatever you want. You can do all, if you want healthier oils, do avocado oil. I have never baked anything in this. This is my first time using it, so I hope it does not crack or anything like that. I did Baker's Joy because it keeps everything from sticking, and I do not want anything sticking in these pretty little molds. I want my corn sticks to come out looking perfect. So Baker's Joy is the way I'm going, but you can do it however you want. I am also making the meatloaf today, which we'll post before this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my ingredients together. Once the meatloaf comes out of the oven, I'll preheat the oven on 425 degrees to do this recipe. Directions says you want your oven preheated at 425. I got a meatloaf in there right now, so I'm going to wait for it. It's got about 5 minutes left. And then I'll preheat it up to 425. It's on 350 right now. It also says it makes 8 corn sticks. My mold is only for 6 corn sticks. And the first step is to beat together 2 eggs, 2 cups of sour milk, and 3 tablespoons of melted shortening. I'm doing melted bacon grease. I'm going to go ahead and mix this together. Let's see if my grease has cooled down any. It's 3 tablespoons. We're going to mix that together. Then we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of sugar. I don't know about the sugar, but we'll try it. 1 teaspoon of salt, and I have the salt in there with the sugar. 1 1/2 cups of cornmeal. You make sure this is just plain cornmeal. This is plain yellow cornmeal, but they have plain white cornmeal too. There's cornmeal, and then there's cornmeal mix. Just make sure it's cornmeal because the cornmeal mix already has the flour in it. I have potatoes boiling on the stove, around mashed potatoes. I've got bacon frying in my cast iron because I'm going to do some green beans. 3/4 cup of flour. This is all-purpose flour. The recipe does not state all-purpose. I know it's all-purpose because we're also using baking powder and baking soda. Next, we have 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm doing this just like the steps says in the cookbook. Typically, most recipes nowadays will tell you to mix all the dry ingredients together, mix all the wet ingredients together, and then combine the two. So make sure you have greased, oiled, sprayed, done something to your corn stick pan. And I just take a ladle and just kind of fill it up with the ladle. And if it gets on the sides and stuff like that, you just get a piece of paper towel and wipe it. Probably wouldn't hurt to invest in a smaller ladle for these corn stick pans. But if this makes 8 corn sticks, it says yield 8. There's some awful big corn sticks. Because this is a lot of batter. Unless they mean 8 servings and there's 2 corn sticks per serving. I don't know, it doesn't say. Now, I probably didn't want to fill them all the way up because they are going to rise. But I filled them all the way up, so we're going to go with it. Usually I fill them about 3/4 of the way up. You know what? I think I'm going to get my cast iron corn stick pan and make some of it too, since I have all this leftover batter. See how much batter I have left? Just clean up around the edges a little. Okay, so I'm going to set this on my stove top. I don't have the ovens on. I'm going to preheat the oven to 425 when I pull the meatloaf out in just a second. And I'm going to leave this on the stove top just so it can get acclimated to the hotter temperatures. Okay, they're done. Let me get them out of the oven. I wanted to make sure I had a soft spot to set them. They definitely rose into each other. So this recipe makes this big corn stick pan and then my cast iron corn stick pan as well. So I'm going to let these cool for just a second and then we'll go around and loosen them up and see what they look like. Almost forgot, got to brush them with butter. The main thing when you cook in glass is just make sure you don't go from hot to cold, because that will crack your glass, or cold to hot. That's why I set this up on the stove top, which was warm, so it would be a little warm before I stuck it in the oven. I usually don't put sugar in my cornbread, but who knows, this may be good. Okay, y'all. Let's cut these apart and let's go around the edges, see if they pop up, or I'm gonna have problems. This is very soft cornbread. There's our corn stick. A thick one. What do you think about the 1940s Southern corn sticks?
You're on a roll. I mean, the flavor's good. I like the taste. But the texture's like eating a cupcake. It is. Cornbread's supposed to have a little heft to it. Like,
that's how we usually eat it, but
I mean, it needs a bowl of beans or something to dip it in to give it some.
Well, that's usually what you have with cornbread or chili or something. But
it is way too cakey.
I have a grandma that used to make this cornbread. It tastes just like this cornbread.
Bless her heart.
She didn't make it in corn sticks. She made it in like a square dish, but it was more like a cake than a cornbread. And then she would give us syrup to put on it if we wanted to be a little sweeter.
What is the only type of cake I ever asked for my birthday?
Cheesecake.
Okay, the other type of cake. Ice cream cake.
Oh, ice cream cake, yeah.
But I never asked for regular cake. And this is like a cake. Like a cupcake.
Well, my thoughts on it, I like my cornbread better that I normally make in my cast iron cornbread pan, which I mean, it may be good in that glass. I haven't tried my cornbread in that glass one yet. I might do that. This is a soft, cakey cornbread. I don't consider it a southern cornbread or corn sticks, because when I think of southern corn sticks, I think of crispy, a little crisp denser
on the edges. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a dryness that is fixed with sop in it, in something.
Yeah, it'd be good in some beans or something. Or
this is like
vegetable soup
or some crap like that.
No, that's all homemade.
I know, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not
it's
as
moist.
Sweet as...
It's moist.
Yeah, it's moist.
That's almost as bad as nasty.
But a lot of people like their cornbread a little moister than we do. There are people out there that like their cornbread a little more cakey than what we do our cornbread as.
Yankees?
I don't know where they're from. I know that I had to put a tablespoon of sugar in that, and I was like, oh, don't put sugar in my cornbread. And I know that is a big controversy. I've seen videos on that all the time. Do you or do you not put sugar in your cornbread?
No.
Right. We never put sugar in our cornbread. But it does, it's
that's why I thought it was cake.
we have a lot of corn sticks over here.
Oh.
I need to make a soup, but it's like 100 degrees outside.
Are they safe for dogs?
The corn sticks, yeah, they're probably okay for dogs. The meatloaf, I found out, is okay for dogs too. Dogs can have pineapple, and there's no onion or anything in that meatloaf. It's just salt, pepper, meat, bacon, and pineapple. So I gave the dogs a little piece of pineapple and meatloaf, and they seem to enjoy it. So if we can't eat it all, the dogs can. But I think we'll finish the meatloaf. I think it's pretty good. I mean, the
meatloaf is one of my most favorite things ever. Especially when it's got like that ketchup on top of it.
I know. I've never made a meatloaf without the sauce on it. That was my first meatloaf I've ever made that didn't call for the sauce. And I was like, if it's got pineapple in it, it might be good with like a sweet and sour sauce. But look at his face. Anyway, we were going exactly by the recipe. So that's what we got. Except I used, and the corn sticks, I used bacon grease instead of shortening. But they're still really soft. It's hard to have corn sticks that are like cake. I mean, they come out of the pan good, but that's because I sprayed it with Baker's Joy. If I didn't spray that with Baker's Joy, they wouldn't be coming out of that pan because they're really cakey.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to quit talking now. Thank y'all for watching this episode of the Lost Cookbooks. Next week. Did you just give 2 thumbs down?
No. I gave a thumb and a half.
Oh.
I mean,
they're
the taste
edible.
is good.
They're good. They're edible.
The taste is good. The texture is not cornbread. It's corn cakes.
Corn cakes. That would probably be a good description.
Let's call it what it is.
You could put them in cupcake liners.
I expected to peel paper off of that.
And put a little cream cheese on top, and it would be like corn cupcakes. You probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
And cream cheese is good, even though it is associated with bagels.
I mean, cream cheese icing, frosting, with like cream cheese butter frosting on top of it.
See, now you got me thinking of Krispy Kreme.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
A bagel is like a
would you be quiet? Be quiet.
Kreme.
Okay. Y'all stay tuned Wednesday for the next cookbook review. We'll go through the next cookbook together. I actually have 2 of this cookbook. I'll go ahead and show y'all the cookbook that I'm going to do next week. how to enjoy speed cooking with your new General Electric stove range. I think this one's from the 1950s. But I've got 2 of these, so I will do a giveaway, give somebody one of the cookbooks after we go through them, and I make sure there's not any family heirlooms in there. Okay, thank you for your review. Thank y'all for watching and listening to us. Have a blessed day.